Welcome to episode 2 of Cox-tales, the podcast where I talk with friends over cocktails. Today, I have Ashlyn, who's on the other end of the mic.
Hi, Isaac. Thanks for the
We
drinks.
we are drinking Cutwater Spirits lime margarita at the moment. Basically cocktails in a can. And then we have a Paloma cocktail as well. They are delicious.
This smells like something that's going to get me drunk.
I mean, it's 12% margarita in a can. It's pretty good. But
Never
no,
as good as Fuzzies.
start it off as always. Describe yourself with an event. I think I'm going to stick with mine as women's basketball for the moment because I haven't thought about it.
With an event?
Yes, any event you want. Bar mitzvah, a Friday night out, Thirsty Thursdays, Ram Band, anything. Like a sorority formal if you really want.
Oh, country dancing.
Just in general.
Just in general.
Why?
It's what feeds my soul. I hate it.
But is that how you describe yourself or what you want to be?
That's how I describe myself, my internal self.
You can describe yourself as country dancing. Line dancing or country dance? Like swing dancing?
Swing dancing. Yeah. Well, like, I'm a mountain hick. I'm not country. I'm a mountain hick. There's a fine difference. Like, country people, actually have farms and everything. But mountain people, there's nowhere to farm. There's cattle. But
If you can hear a squeaking, that is the dog playing with a toy next to us. He jumped over the barrier we built and he has joined us again.
he's just a third member. You could do a podcast.
Really? Country dancing?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about that very much. That was the first thing that came up.
I'm just trying to think how you can make it into an event.
I think it's
I would describe you as
How about
Sundance country dancing.
We'll just go with Sundance then. Oh, make Sundance
That's
great
definitely
again.
you.
Too bad.
Bad decisions, drinking, country dancing, some hip hop in there on some Tuesday nights.
Men that aren't good for me mostly.
I mean, you said it, not me.
It's true. Tuesdays used to be my favorite night. I
only went twice.
Yeah, that's terrible, Isaac. Terrible.
I
Do you own a pair of cowboy boots?
No,
though?
don't have a cowboy hat. I don't listen to country music. You know this.
That can be changed.
It's not that I don't like it, but I'd never choose to listen to it. Didn't grow up with it. I never choose to listen to it, really. I can listen to it. There's nothing wrong with it. Although most country music these days isn't country music.
It's just all pop.
Well, I realised this the other day. If that song can be played on a different radio station that isn't country and it's not out of place, you cannot call it country.
True.
Which half the songs on like Big 97.9 and stuff that come on, you could play on a different radio station that isn't country and you wouldn't be like, what's this doing here?
Well, everybody gave Taylor Swift shit because...
Well, yeah, she isn't country. She
her
sounded...
transition, and then she decided, I'm just going to go straight
Even when
pop.
she was 16, half her songs were still pop.
Yeah.
But she sounded more country because she was young and... Is she from somewhere like that?
No, she's from the East Coast, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
If anything, I thought she was going to be West Coast.
I want to say she's from Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, somewhere out there.
Really?
Because
And how the hell did she get brought up as a country, quote-unquote, singer?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. That's weird. But no, actually, you were meant to be on the first episode because you came up with the name of this podcast.
Yep.
While we were having
credit.
drinks.
That'd be great. Yeah. No, it's an awesome name. Your last name is very fitting. It's a little...
Not for many things. Cox doesn't go very well with many things.
I imagine there's some fun nicknames that have emerged growing up in life.
No, I didn't have any involvement Cox.
Oh, wow.
The only nickname that ever stuck for any period of time with me was Pies.
Pies. Why?
Yes. Because my friends were trying to come up with a nickname and they're like show my name like Eyes. Like, we can't call you Eyes. And we're like, what rhymes with Eyes? And someone just said Pies. Literally, my teacher in I don't know what the equivalent is, like 5th grade or whatever, called me Pies. Like, everyone did. My aunt called me it, everyone, for like 3 or 4 years. It's the only nickname I ever had that stuck for any amount of time. My brother was Coxie. I don't think my sister had one. Like, we all kind of go by Cox in the family because we're all Coxes, but the only one that stuck was Pies.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, Cox was never used in a nickname.
Well, I have a new nickname now for you.
Literally, I doubt anyone is listening to this from England, but there was everyone knew me as Pies. And I spelt it P-I-S-E.
That's hilarious.
Instead
now,
of P-I-E-S, because I didn't want to be the food.
What is your favorite pie, though?
Are we talking dessert or savoury?
Dessert. Oh my God, that's right. You're from...
Meat pies.
You're not from the United States.
No, I'm not.
We don't eat meat pies.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
Pot pies.
pot
But
pies. That's
for
about
us,
it.
we have pastry underneath as well, which is an actual pie.
Yeah.
Favourite dessert pie? I mean, it's technically called a tart, but treacle tart. It's delicious.
Ooh.
But if not, probably caramel apple pie. Can't go wrong with it. I'm trying lots of new things this year, trying foods. As I don't like fruit pies, but I'm trying more this year. So I can't say I don't like them, but I haven't really eaten them so far.
So far.
I haven't said, like, I just tried blueberries earlier. Like, I've never had a blueberry by itself. I was like, I can't say no to anything now. Like, if
That's
it's new
ridiculous.
and I haven't tried it.
That's a good resolution to have, though.
Well, it's like, how many foods I can list off that I said I haven't liked, where I know full well I haven't tried them. I was like,
But
what's the point?
Blueberries?
Like, we used to pick blackberries. As in my family, like, on holiday.
The same.
He jumped over the barrier. That's why he's up here.
The fact that he has a whole antler.
The dog just got taken away. He was chewing on his antler, which is, it's a real antler. It's a big thing.
Yeah, no. Well, he's a large dog, so he needs large.
He's a 105-pound Bernese. 16th Pyrenees, which is why he's so white. He doesn't look like a Bernese. Make sense. But no, yeah, so you were meant to be on really early. But then I wanted to get it starting and you weren't available. But no, okay. Ashley is the reason. Fine. If you enjoyed the name Cox-tales, it's because of her. Purely because of her.
I brought it up with someone and they're like, that's a good name. But if you wouldn't have told me it came with cocktails, like actual drinks.
For the podcast?
For the podcast.
I thought you meant you just came out with Cox-tales in general.
Oh, no. But for the podcast. And they were like, if you didn't tell me that there was alcohol involved, I immediately thought it was something dirty. And I'm like, no. No.
If you see how it's spelled, because you went Cox-tales, Coxtails, like cocktails,
stories.
And you wanted me to like taste cocktails, and then I changed it to stories because I wanted to do this for ages. Like that's the perfect name, which is why I started it. Eventually, I wanted to do it for ages, but yeah, that's why I started. I said it was going to come from conversation because I wanted it for ages and didn't have a name, and then I had like this is the perfect name. I just need to get going, so I bought mics and started.
Easy.
Pretty much. But yeah. Oh. I hate going off the list, but the conversation just kind of died then, so we're going to go into the list.
Oh, gosh.
Small town girl.
Ooh. Living in a lonely world. I'm joking.
I shouldn't have said it like that. That was my own fault. No. Growing up in Estes.
Oh, gosh. Well...
do you count Estes as a small town, right?
Oh, definitely.
Because I know there's smaller in Colorado.
There's like 6,000 people in the winter. And in the summer...
Hey, I live in a place smaller than that, in England.
Yeah, but like the 6,000 people in the winter, I would say probably about 60% of them are retirees. We like to joke, Estes is for the newlywed and the nearly dead. Because you get people that move there to start families. I don't know if that's depressing or not. It depends on how you look at it.
Like, depressing, you've just thrown your life away, you've got married, and depressing because you're going to die.
Yeah, well, the old people in town, they drive slow, but they're sweet.
Okay, you have to drive slow. There's elk in the middle of the road.
Exactly. I actually hit an elk jam coming down back to Fort Collins.
I thought you were going to say I actually hit an elk on the way down.
Oh, no.
I was like, how are you here?
Just an elk jam.
Oh.
But if you hit an elk with a car, they are pretty bulky, I will say.
I was going to say, your car's losing.
Oh, yeah. Maybe not my truck, but other people.
It's losing.
Yeah.
It will have damage on it, put it that way.
As the elk gets back up and walks away.
I was like, you will live, probably. The car may not.
Yeah.
I don't know about the elk. I don't know how much they survive from being hit.
Pretty well. They're pretty robust animals. But, small town. In the summer, though, you get anywhere from like 50 to 120,000 people.
Yeah, I know.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
But it's almost like a better winter town to go to. Because you can still get there in the winter.
Yeah, it's not like
it's one of the few winter towns that's like a small town that you can probably get to
without going to a ski resort like Vail or Aspen.
And then they're not winter towns, they are resort towns. They are built on resorts. I know they are small towns and people still live there.
We used to be a resort town because there used to be a ski resort in Rocky Mountain National Park called Hidden Valley.
Very well hidden. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was operated until the early 90s, and then they...
God, you're like a walking encyclopedia for Estes.
I am. I know lots of history. I could tell Stanley Hotel ghost tours, but...
I don't need that.
Yeah, but, overall, Estes is your typical small town. You hang out at McDonald's on a Friday night. That is what...
We hung out in the woods.
In the woods? Well, the woods in the summer when it was warm enough.
At the skate park with a giant, 2.5 litre bottle of cider. And maybe some WKDs, and then you'd go off into the woods and drink. It's what English kids, that's when you first start drinking. That's at 13.
Now, in the woods with so that's way before you even have your cars. It's not
no, we don't have a car. We can drink, the same year we have a car, basically. You can drive at 17, you can drink at 18.
I forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
Which is, I don't know what way has it better. Like, I think you can drive younger in Europe, but you don't drink always until 21, or you can't drink, like, the hard alcohol until 21. Mm-hmm. Don't know if that's better, because you're used to driving then drinking, or, like, the fact you can drink before you can drive in some countries. Like, in France, you can drink wine, like, at home whenever, so you're used to drinking, so you know the effects, so then you can drive, not necessarily with them, but you know, like, your limit and stuff, whereas people here, pardon me, have driven for 5 years?
Gosh,
almost before you can drink.
Yeah.
Like, legally, you can get your permit when you're 15, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Unless you're in a state where you can get, like, a farm license,
yeah.
and then you can get it at, like, 14 and a half. Or you'll have kids driving tractors at, like,
so, like, 15. You should be able to drive it. I mean, driving in America is easy as anything.
Well, our roads are wide, and we drive giant vehicles.
You drive auto. Automatics, even. I don't know why I shortened it to auto.
I do know how to drive manual, though, I would like to point out.
I'm terrified of the fact here that you don't have to pass a manual test to be able to drive a manual.
Well, what are you supposed to do if there's an emergency with a group of people you're in? Say someone drove to the mountains with, you know, their early 90s pickup.
Everyone passes a manual. You're not allowed to drive a manual unless you pass with a manual license. You get automatic licenses in England.
It should be that way, and we'd have
because
significantly
you have
fewer
to
drivers.
be able, like, because how many people here really know how to do a hill start in a manual? Like,
One
safely.
in, like, 12.
Exactly. Like, it's not safe.
And too many people will roll up behind someone who's in a manual.
Even people in automatics here struggle on hills. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is put your foot down. If you've braked with your right foot, swap it to your left foot, and then you can put the accelerator down with your right, and you can have both on at the same time, so you don't roll back.
Throw a third pedal in, and you're like, what is
this
bad. For?
I brake left-footed a lot.
Oh, God, Isaac. What are you, a race car driver?
Well, it was originally because I was bored when I was driving an automatic. So I just taught myself to left foot, because when you first try it, everyone, like, jolts. Uh-huh. And then I was like, I'm just going to teach myself. Now I can do it all the time. So that's why I'm really quick off the line in automatics, because I've got both feet on. I just, like, automatically swap, not move my foot across.
That's ridiculous.
It was bored. It was bored, and that's why I started it.
When I first learned how to drive in Estes, there's this road
that seems like a terrible place to learn how to drive.
Well, we would go to, like, the high school parking lot like anyone would, but there's this road that goes in between the lake. The lake is cut in between by this causeway.
Yeah, I've driven it.
I would get on there, and I would see a car coming the other way. I drive a giant Silverado, you know, and...
You got scared?
A car would come the other way, and I'm like, I'm looking at my
There's always bald eagles on the post around there as well.
There is. There's the 2 bald eagles. Very good. You'll have to come up and go...
Because they stare at me, and it terrifies me.
They're beautiful. They used to watch football practice on the side field.
You say watch.
Well, they would sit there, they'd do a couple laps.
They're just thinking, who's the scrawny kid? When can I pick him up?
To be fair, everyone was scrawny kids on our football team because they were not very good.
2A?
1A by my senior year. We started 3A.
Oh, God.
I'm 5'9", and I was larger than half of our football team as the manager.
Larger or taller?
Taller and weight-wise, probably, because, you know, skinny mountain kids playing cornfed.
I mean, I'm not big, but that's bad.
You're muscular, though. So you have a lot of weight from muscle. Well, muscle's heavier than fat, at the very least.
True. But boobs weigh a lot. Boobs and butt weigh a lot, and women carry more weight in general.
I don't know
and
how
it's
to
harder
measure that.
to lose.
How would you measure that? You just
unless you have implants, you don't really know.
True.
Because then you come out and like, oh, this weight, like I put in 2 5-pound bags or whatever.
Which I don't have implants.
No, I know you don't. But that I had a conversation with someone about like how much theirs weighed, and now I'm really confused because I thought she said 5 pounds for both, and then I was speaking to someone else about it, and they were like, surely it's 5 pounds each. 5 pounds
of each is a lot. Like that's
they are big.
That has to be like double D's.
Oh, they're easily double D's.
Easily double D's.
I don't know what she was before that because I didn't know her before.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
Well, why
she said 5 pounds, and I thought she meant total, and then everyone was like, it can't be total, it has to be each, because they're that big, and I was like, I don't know.
Oh my God, it's like, well, you can't ask to feel them.
No. She's lovely, but I wouldn't do that.
It's like, I don't understand why people get boob jobs before they have kids, because, like, sure, your boobs are probably average right now, and a boob job will make them great, but you're going to have kids, and the next thing you know... Or you're going to
adopt.
True. Thank you for the viable options, Isaac.
But it's sad if you think like that. Like I know people who've got them. I know multiple people who've got them before they were 20.
Oh my gosh, where do you get the money for that?
That I don't know. I don't know if they're cheaper now than they used to be because they're just like surgeries.
Has the market gone down for breast augmentation?
Either that or it's just got easier. Like it's less risky. Like the implants are better. Like they're not They're not silicone anymore, are they?
I will say that
Or they're not bags. Aren't they like bags of saline now or something? Like they don't cause as much
depends.
internal injuries or something.
One of them feels more natural than the others because when
Well, no, yeah, because old boob jobs, like always in the film, they're like, oh yeah, they're like rock hard. And now they're not.
Well, the few girls I worked with at Hooters that had boob jobs, their boobs, well, you know, when you work with other girls, you know, they're like, oh, touch them, they feel really real.
Not when you work with them, just other girls.
Just other girls in general. We also, you know, you bond when you're in short shorts every day in and out, but...
Did you say short shirts?
Short shorts. Short shirts and short shorts.
Say that 5 times quickly.
I couldn't do it. I can barely talk the way it is.
Just in general, or because you're drinking?
Probably both.
Yeah, probably both. Yeah. I don't know why you'd get a boob job young. Because I know people who are like, I want a boob job, but I'm not having one until I have kids.
Yeah, because then, like, let the children suck the life out of you. And then get your boobs done so they're perky for the rest of your life.
Weirdest saying. One of the weirdest sayings I've heard in a while.
I think it's reasonable.
I mean, it is, and it gets the point across. But saying that, it makes me think of, like, vampires.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Feeling younger again.
See, no, sucking the light out of people.
Well, that's what children do to you.
That's why I hate children.
That's what I'm sure I did to my parents.
I hate people in general. Children annoy the hell out of me.
Oh, they're adorable. They're the future.
Oh, no, I hate them.
Ugh.
My kids are going to be very well disciplined.
Well, that's good. It's just more so you hate other people's kids.
No, I just hate everyone. In general. Just everyone.
That's
everything.
Okay.
I mean, I'm British. We hate everything.
It's fine.
Actually, no, we're quite nice.
Fulfill your stereotype.
That's literally, I was staring at the word saying stereotypes.
Oh, okay.
Are there any stereotypes about small towns?
Oh,
well, actually, no. Not are they. Are they true? Stereotypes are generally built from truth, but like...
Oh, God. The whole, like, kids never... all the kids that go to high
kids
school
never leave.
That's very true. Of my friend group, I think I'm the only one that actually left...
For college or...
And got a college degree. Everyone else either, you know, dropped out, didn't go at all.
Is it a lot of family businesses? Is that why?
I mean, there's a lot of family businesses, but it's less... See, Estes is a weird small town because no one can afford to live there unless...
But no one can afford to leave.
Exactly. Because, like, if you're a kid that grew up there and you're still working there, the money's great because the tourists and everything.
Is it not seasonal money? Do you have to, like, save?
Summers when you really, like, all the businesses up there, my family.
Because, like, ski resorts, I know they make some money in summer, but you kind of have to, like, stockpile your money and
like
make it...
Copper, where you do the mountain biking in the summer, too.
True.
You know?
But even then, you can't make as much money as you make in this ski season.
So
you kind of have to, like, stockpile it.
Yep.
Until...
May through September, all that money is made, and then...
I feel like Estes, you make... If you were a... Maybe not the taffy shops and ice cream shops, because there's so many taffy shops, it's ridiculous.
Well, we have a lot of Nepalese that come in and work.
But, like,
those.
you're not going to sell as much ice cream and stuff in the winter.
Oh, yeah, and they just totally closed
gone.
down.
But although clothes shop and tourist shops, they probably drop off because the people drop off slightly, but it can't be terrible.
I work at, like, an anomaly. The store I work at is 15,000 square feet, and, you know...
That's big.
People shop there. It's probably the biggest store in Estes. It's right when you roll into Estes on Highway 34, the Estes Park Mountain Shop. And we're technically a north face.
Oh, so you're not even on, like, the high street or anything. You're before that.
We're before that, yeah. It used to be downtown, but outgrew it. But we're a north face
like on the road
outlet.
the McDonald's is on.
Yeah.
And the Egg and I and all of that.
When you drive into Estes, have you ever seen those blue and white cottages right before you roll into Estes from 34? There's a lot of cottages.
I don't know if I've come in through 34. Is 34 the one that isn't shut, partly?
Oh, that's right, yeah, 36. 34 is open now all the time, though.
So, yeah, I think I've come in through 36 most times. One, because I think it's a better entry. Coming down and going through the lakes, you get a much better view.
Yeah, so right where that lake is...
First time I went, though, I came through 34, but I haven't driven down that road since.
If you go right below the dam, that's where the shop is. It's huge. It's a giant gray warehouse that used to be a pewter factory, but...
That's a lot. Did you say 15,000?
15,000 square feet minimum.
I was like, because I know what 7,000 looks like, because it's where I'm going to work, but...
It's huge, but, you know, we're an anomaly because we're on the up and up every month. Every month it's records from the year before. And...
It's impressive.
Yeah, well, you buy in bulk, you sell...
I was like, do you sell everything, though?
Everything, pretty much.
You're basically like a general purpose store.
We're kind of like a cooler Walmart, but without...
Mountain Walmart.
Mountain Walmart. Like, you need shoes, we got that.
Do you
need fish.
Do you have any chains, apart from, like, gas stations? Like store-wise,
there's a
not...
Safeway.
Is there?
Yeah. And McDonald's.
I wasn't going to count like
Starbucks,
McDonald's and
yeah.
Starbucks because they're small, they can fit in it, but you don't have a Walmart, you don't have a Target.
No.
Don't have a... Who else is everywhere? Costco.
Yeah,
Sam's Club.
None of the big superstores or anything, but Loveland is 35 minutes away.
On a good day.
On a good day.
It's not in the winter.
Not in the winter.
Although you made decent time tonight.
I did pretty good.
Considering you have snow up in Estes right now.
Yeah, but it was pretty easy. I followed a sheriff the whole way down, so all the cars that he rolled up upon pulled over for him. So we just cruised right past.
Did he have his lights on?
No, but when you have a sheriff behind you, people get stressed out, and you never know in Colorado if they're stoned in their car or not. So
I wouldn't pull over. Like riding behind police I hate because I don't want to overtake them because I know they're generally going right around the speed limit.
the sheriffs like to speed in the canyon. They'll roll up behind you real quick.
And then you get terrified that they're coming in. But I guess it says on the... I was going to say bonnet. For American people, the hood, it says sheriff, doesn't it?
The bonnet?
Yeah, bonnet and trunk.
Oh my gosh.
No, bonnet and boot, not bonnet and trunk. Bonnet and boot.
Bonnet and boot.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that now.
But it says on the hood, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you can just tell from looking at the lights. And I know that all the sheriffs roll in and out of town.
Well, like, if it's
Estes at
dark and you're
5
coming
o'clock.
down a mountain pass, how much are you paying attention to behind you?
Oh, it's easy to tell.
Really?
Well, they come through at 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. Shift
Okay,
change.
you know they could do.
That's when you're a kid getting in trouble with a small mountain.
That was like the bad thing, like the floor above us in the dorms, we knew when the RAs came around. Matt and Steffi's room.
Oh gosh.
We knew when the RAs came around. Their RA was dope as fuck anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen him at parties, or saw him at parties.
Oh gosh.
But, like, we knew when the RAs came around, so we knew, right, be quiet around here, because we knew their rotation, and they went through every floor, we knew what time they got to each floor. So you'd know when they come, so you'd be quiet then, and then you'd be loud as fuck. Especially because...
having fun.
So my floor had a female RA, so she was on the other side with the female bathrooms, not on our side. Mm-hmm. So unless she walked around, you couldn't hear shit from our side. She was through the middle section in Durwood.
All brick.
Like, and then the doors on the other side. Like, we heard everything because our door was like 4 inches off the floor and we could hear everyone else, but it was terrible.
You lived in...
The guys next to us shouted so much.
Oh my gosh.
They just played video games and were just shouting the entire time.
But did they ever leave their room?
No.
No.
It was... So they were dating sisters.
Oh my god, that sounds like a
Not
recipe for
twins. One was
disaster.
older. I can't remember why. Or I can't remember which. But... And then they always had one of the other people from our dorm, like on our side, one of the guys, and they just play video games all night and we just hear them shouting.
Meanwhile, I'm at the honors dorms where no one ever makes a sound. And when I
can't believe you and Cam were in honours.
It was terrible.
Because he was in engineering to start.
Yeah,
Did
he was in a different
graduate
building.
in engineering? He's still here.
He's still here. I don't know if he ended up finishing
Is
up.
he still engineering?
I'm
Cam,
not
let us
sure.
know if you're listening to this. I'm actually trying to get you on at some point. I want to get all four of you on.
They're all so entertaining.
Well, no, Matt, Michael, Cam, and Eric
Yeah.
on at once drinking with me thrown in there.
Oh gosh, that'd be super entertaining.
Eric was like, get us drunk and we'll do it. And I was like, I don't need to get you drunk, but that's what happens anyway. Last time I did this, me and Matt finished, not that Matt, but Matt Lane finished
Matt
3
Lane.
quarters of a bottle of whiskey between us
God.
in an hour and a half.
It's like drunk history, but in a podcast.
That we were just drinking whiskey on the rocks, and like he went through 3 in the time I think I finished 1, but then we both ended with 4. I just kept drinking and pouring.
Oh.
He had to drive. He's a big guy. He can drive on that. But
Yeah, he's like 6'4".
I was at home. I want to say 6'5", but he's like 220. He's a big guy.
He's a big dude.
He's a big guy.
Anyone that says like, oh, it depends on your body height, whatever. Yeah, it does. That guy could
For
do
drinking? Yeah.
anything.
Well, it's like, so my brother's, the reason I came to America was because my brother went to University of Utah for a year. Mm-hmm. And his best friend was a 6'8" German. He's not like a muscly guy, but he's 6'8" and he's German. They used to buy a 30 rack for like a Friday night. He would drink 20, my brother would drink 10.
And they'd be on the same level.
Yeah.
Even.
My brother's like my height, so he's like 5'9", 150. Maybe at that point he might have been a little bit larger because he was here like 155, 160 maybe. And Moritz is 6'8". He has to be 200. I don't know if he's got to be like 210 just without any muscle on him because he's that big. And they would just drink. Or they'd like buy a handle and like finish it between the two of them like in the night.
But at least they understood that they were different sizes and that it took different
My
amounts.
brother can't drink that much.
You know, with my sorority, my littles, oh my Lord. I'm a big gal. I'm 5'9" and at least 150
You are
pounds.
not a big gal.
Well,
you are bigger than some of them. You are not a
I'm
big
bigger
gal.
than them, but when you have girls that are 5'6" and 5'7" and like 105 pounds, I love you guys, but maybe don't try to take as many shots as I do.
It's people who play drinking games with shots that, like, because girls don't want to drink beer, so they just take shots when they lose, like, instead of like a
We have half
game.
an hour before the bars. Let's take 9 shots while playing Flip Cup.
It's like when you drink the King's Cup. You might go through a beer and a half. Maybe. You're taking 5 shots, that's more than a beer and a half. And you generally drink more than 5 times in King's Cup.
Easily.
Like, why, like, don't take shots. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, make a mixed drink and drink with that. That's better than taking shots.
You sound like my alcohol class I took at CSU.
We all had to take it. I didn't have to take it again, but we all had to take it.
Did you take it before they moved to the new building?
I took it online before I
Online?
came to CSU almost.
Oh, okay. Not that assessment. I'm talking about when you get in trouble with the
I
CSU
didn't get in
police
trouble.
and you have to take an alcohol class on campus.
I never got in trouble. Even if I did, I'm British. They're not going to tell me off.
They're going to be like, please don't do that again.
God, I have police stories where people laughed at my names.
Ugh.
We weren't even doing anything wrong. They were like, they go around and ask everyone's names because we're like hanging out in a park in the middle of the dark, and there's like, what are you guys doing? Just England things. We hang out in parks at midnight. There's like, everyone's name. And then one guy's asking his name, comes to me, Isaac Cox. Guy in the back turns around, doubles over laughing, and then he has to carry on and keep asking everyone else their names. And the other guy turns like, did you know? He was like, no, I heard, I have to carry on. It's bad.
How often did you spend in dark parks?
Not many times in parks. In fields a lot. Field parties got big. Because parents didn't... Anyone who had a field, we lived in like a really rural place, really.
So everyone had acres of property.
Not everyone, but everyone knew the people that did. So your parents would rather you have a party out there where there's just cans in the middle of the field that isn't being used rather than in your house. If you spill, you throw up, anything.
Drinking somewhere else and then having to like drunk drive home. I don't know
We
how
can't
big of a
drive
deal
at that
that is.
point.
Oh, that's right.
This lasted like 15.
Oh
But
my gosh.
John Primavesi had land. Becky Bolsover, Ellie Rudd. I still remember them. Gemma Champness, although hers was kind of in the house. But you just, if in the summer you stay outside the house, you don't have house parties because it messes up the house and people don't want it. I even had parties, but every party I had was generally inside the house. And you'd have to clean up spills the next morning. Like if someone threw up in the toilet, you have to clean up. If someone throws up outside, doesn't matter. Guys just go piss in the hedges. Like there's no piss on the floor or anything. It's a lot easier.
You can't mess anything up. That's why we did so much camping in the summer. I didn't start drinking until I was like 14. But by the time I got to go party with the older
That's still
people,
quite early, but I guess you're a small town, so...
You know, well, that was more so...
I was being bought vodka by my mum at like 13.
See, more legal on your side, but...
Well, it wasn't legal. It was that my brother's 5 years older, so my brother was 18, and he was saying, yeah. So my mum was like, I'd rather I know what you're drinking and I was buying it than your brother just buying you stuff. So she was buying for me really early.
But my parents would give me margaritas. We'd go to the sand dunes to ride four-wheelers on the Mexican border. And my parents would be like...
So white girl. That sounded so white girl. We used to go four-wheelers on the Mexican border with my parents.
Well, the sand dunes are huge down there.
And then I'd throw back a tequila shot with my parents. Wind in the hair, riding a horse over the beach.
Not quite the horse on the beach thing, but...
Not in Mexico, you get shot.
More like riding my
That was
four-wheeler
racist,
along
my
the
bad.
border. Well, it's not racist. It's true. There's, I remember seeing the border before there was a fence. And then I remember the first attempt at a fence, which, probably about a decade ago now. I don't remember what
And
president.
now there's going to be a wall. A decade ago, it's Obama, just about.
You know, there was...
Didn't he come in 2010?
Everyone pretends like there isn't already a
2010?
wall along... Oh,
Was he 2010? He was 2008.
2008.
So yeah, he was a decade ago, it was him.
It might have been right before.
And if not him, wasn't it? Was it not Bush before him?
I think it was Bush, but regardless of who it was...
Look at me with my American president knowledge.
I know, more than me, apparently.
And Trump's the wrong number, apparently.
Oh, gosh.
Actually, Obama was as well.
Yeah?
Well, because one of the presidents did a term, went out, and then came back and did a second
Yeah,
term.
so
So they
it
got
depends on
sworn
that.
in as like the next number when actually they're not.
Yeah.
He was still like the 41st, even though he came in at the slot of the 43rd.
But everyone likes to pretend there isn't already a wall on the border.
not a
In
very
a
good
lot
one.
of areas, it's a crappy
I
wall.
really hope that the tunnel in Fast and Furious is real. Where they just drive through like a mechanical tunnel and then like through the mines and then burst out the other side.
The movies got a little ridiculous in the Fast and the Furious series.
Fast and Furious is incredible. And they're like, most of them are on Netflix now. Have you seen the films they did lately?
I haven't seen lately.
All the Indiana Joneses, almost, I don't know if they added the late Fast and Furious, but 1, 2, 3, and I think 4 at least on there.
That's ridiculous.
Now, all the mummies are on there now. They added a bunch of old film like series, and they added just like the whole series on, rather than having like for the first forever they had Bad Boys 2 and not Bad Boys 1. And then one guy, remember Comp 150? And you had to write a film review. One guy in my class was like, did it in Bad Boy 2, and the teacher was like, so yeah, why did you choose Bad Boys 2? I instantly replied, was because the Bad Boys 1 isn't on Netflix. So he just looked at me and was like, yep. I was like, I know. And she was like, seriously? I was like, yep. It was an easy one to get to. It's on Netflix. Bad Boys 1 isn't.
It was the first thing that popped up on his "What are you watching?" screen.
I was like, why did you choose the second one? The first one isn't on Netflix, miss. Oh, you never call teachers miss here, do you? There's always first names, isn't it?
No. Yeah, well, it depends on what kind of teacher you have. It's either their last name, Professor so-and-so, or...
Because we were Miss and Mister.
Ooh.
But we also wore school uniforms and stuff.
Did Miss also apply to the married women?
No, so they were Misses.
Yes.
Never had... I mean, there were a couple of Mrs., but we just called them Miss.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say Ms.
Ms.
Did you ever call a teacher mum or dad by accident?
I referred to our football coach in high school as dad a few times. But
That's almost creepy.
Well, I was the football manager for 4 years, and this guy was the football coach for 2 years. He was a big Texan, and this may be where my Texas obsession started, but he was hilarious.
The fact you called him dad and then you said that, weird.
Yep, well, you know I'm weird, so...
Yeah, but not that kind of weird.
But I accidentally referred to him as dad a few times, because...
I know I called our geography teacher dad, but he was the coolest guy ever. He was hilarious.
You're like, will you please be my dad?
No.
I'm joking.
I mean, my dad did leave, but no. Yeah, bad timing for you. Make you feel bad now. But I know I called teachers mum. But it was generally like substitute teachers.
Interesting. This tells me a lot about your psyche.
Really?
Actually, I have no idea.
I was like, really?
I took a Psychology 100 course this year, so obviously I'm an expert.
I'm so glad that all of my like electives were fun. They were business.
Which, speaking of school, I finally got my degree in the mail the other day. It's official.
Mine came quite quickly.
I
remember people saying like when they graduated in May, like they wait until like August to get theirs. I'm pretty sure mine arrived here before I moved here. And I moved here in July. I'm pretty sure mine, because I didn't know what my address was going to be, so I sent it to here because this is my brother's house, like he's not going to move. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it was here before the end of June.
It's pretty quick. I was afraid mine wasn't going to come in the mail for whatever reason I didn't actually graduate.
I think we went to Noco Distillery on the 20th of December, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because it was right before Christmas.
That's a month and a day ago. Mm-hmm. And yours is here. Like, you hadn't even gone through graduation yet.
To be fair, only like 100 of us graduated from the business school. So.
Is your name spelled right?
My name is spelled right. That's what I was most impressed with. My mom
so many school certificates they just couldn't be bothered to reprint because they spent Isaac, I-S-S-A-C, which I've still never met anyone who spells it like that.
I know one. Okay, wait.
Are you going to check how he spells it?
Does the other Phytol, Isaac?
Oh yeah, because you always say Isaac and I'm like, it's not me.
Well, that's why you're British, Isaac.
I do generally have a British flag next to my name in most people's phones here, I think.
I don't have a British name next to your phone. I do have
a British name next to my phone?
Not British emoji. I do have a little subnote in the bottom because when I first met people at CSU, I had to put information in on how I met them.
So many people haven't got a clue. I used to say, like, I have a bunch of people saved under stupid names from England.
Isaac Bowen, the Phytol spells it, the double A.
Yeah, that's how mine's spelled.
Yeah.
So I have no idea I've never seen an Isaac who spells it I-S-S-A-C. And yet every single person spells it like that.
Yeah.
Even the iPhone corrects it to that, I'm pretty sure. Which is weird.
I think that's
because like Isaac Newton is I-S-A-A-C. He's got to be the most famous Isaac ever. One of the most famous people ever. Mm-hmm. And like I would think like predictive text would go off of that rather than the name I've never seen spelled like that.
Who knows? But you can't complain. My name's Ashlyn. So forever and always, if I
I know
need to, I'll
someone
just
called
go by
Absidy.
Ashley.
Well, I know of someone called Absidy.
Absidy.
Spelled ABCDE.
You know an actual person, not just that article from the internet about the mom who got upset about the kid
No, it's
and airport security named
Nick,
that.
my house who I ran track with. His mum taught I think a girl called that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Americans. Okay, I don't want this to sound racist.
You won't offend me.
No, it's not. I mean, there's a lot of Americans who have stupid names, but I saw a comedy sketch about this. I swear, it was an African American guy. And he was like, we just like hear something we think sounds cool, and we're like, yeah, we name our children that. Like, there are some weird names in America, not just for African American people, white people as well. There are some fucked up
Like
names.
the celebrities, is it Gwyneth Paltrow that her daughter's name is Apple? I'm like, so you were giving birth and you looked around the room and you're like, what's the first object
North.
I see? North. That's just a Kardashian
I
thing.
mean, at least it's a real word. Like, it's actually a word that exists, but it's still not a name.
Northwest. I have a friend whose name is
Haven't
Justin. His last name Case. Justin Case. And I'm like, did your mom...
Bend Over's the worst.
Bend over. Oh.
Isn't one of the other kids called Blue? Is that Jay-Z and Beyonce?
Oh, yeah, Blue Ivy.
Ivy, I would prefer to Blue. Blue is the name of the mini fucking velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
Or just a color.
Or that. Velociraptor's funnier because it's...
Maybe that's what they named her after.
I'm not going to do a velociraptor impression, but I'm doing the like claw hands right now. That's not bad, actually. I'm impressed by that. Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Did you ever play, what is that game? Where you turn your lips in and cover your teeth and you go,
Speaking like a grandma.
I can't remember what the word is, but your goal is to make everyone else in the circle laugh and expose their teeth, and the last person
If you suck your cheeks in and say purple people, your lips look hilarious.
It's a game called
A place called Pterodactyl? How do you spell pterodactyl?
P-T.
At least you knew it was a silent P.
D.
I don't care about the rest of it.
Y-T.
My sister once thought that she saw pterodon written down. She's like, what is this pterodon?
Pterodon. I love that.
My sister's meant to be intelligent as well. She got the best grades out of us at high school, but...
Well...
And then me and my brother both laughed at her. She doesn't have common sense.
It's a fine
She's book
balance
smart,
in this
not
world.
common sense. Like, she got...
I'd like to think I have both.
Like, she would have been on the honour roll every semester for, like, 4.0s and type stuff in high school. But not common sense.
I was there at one point, and then I learned
I'm
the subtle
pissed.
art of drinking with fraternity men. And
I'm pissed that A pluses don't mind or cancel out A minuses.
they should.
I had an A plus, 3 A's, and an A minus. And I was a 3, whatever that turns out, 3.89 or 3.9 something,
Good for
whatever.
you.
That pissed me off that semester.
You could have been a 3.9. I don't even know
I've
what
never
a-
tried that.
what
That's,
GPA
you know, I
was.
never tried in school, and I was like, damn it! What was the? I can't even remember what the A minus was. It was something stupid. Because I know that was the semester I took music appreciation because that was the A plus. I was like, I got 117%. Give me my fucking 4.0.
One class I never took, but there's no excuse. No excuse. So easy.
If you don't get upper ducker, people don't like it though. They think it's harder. But that's because I think that's purely because class participation and extra credit, 1, a lot more frequent in her class, but 2, a lot easier. It's like, do a drawing while I'm doing this and you'll get class participation. Yeah. I think I drew Pikachu once. No, it was Charmander. I literally Googled Charmander on my phone, had that on my one thigh, and was drawing on my other thigh a picture of it.
Because anyone that took like a band or a choir class or anything...
Where it took history
very
of
easy.
rock and roll, there was a
I heard
300
that was
level.
amazing.
But
But hard.
it's 300, yeah, so you have to write essays and stuff. I haven't written an essay in God knows how long.
It's been a while. I think one of my last essays was...
I mean, if you don't count group projects where you have to do, like, pages, but, I mean, they're not essays. You have all the facts. You just have to put them into sentences. My personal leadership paper for 410. But again, it was write about the results you got on this test and then tell me what you want to improve on. It wasn't me writing an essay. It's not I have to go do research or anything. Last one I had to do for that, freshman year.
God. Yeah, my freshman year, I wrote a lot of papers.
Because I'm CIS, we didn't do essays. And management didn't even really do essays.
Not really. It's group projects in the business school. But my
love it.
freshman year course, I wrote a lot of papers about sex because my honors seminar freshman year was called Sexuality Across the Lifespan.
God.
And
I took clothing, adornment, and human behavior freshman year.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, but
I don't think so.
Our professor, so I sit down, it was my honors seminar because I was in the honors dorm, so my first class ever.
How many times do you want to say that? It's at least 5.
At least 5? Oh God, I don't even think I'm that bad, but you walk downstairs, you go to the classroom, I'm in my PJs, and you sit down, and I look around. There's 18 women in our class, or at least what appear to be women. I soon find out a lot of them identify as gender neutral, and I'm like...
Oh. I thought you were going to say they're secretly, like, actually men. I was
no.
How the fuck are you thinking they're women?
And we had one guy, Jackson, in our class. So we sit down, and later on I find out, like, most of these women are, like, you know, lesbians, or, like, I don't know how people identify now. But they were like, I'm
this
gender
was freshman
neutral.
year, right?
Yeah.
So they're not.
But our professor goes, hi.
I bet half of them aren't now.
Probably not. Honestly, I don't have anyone on Facebook anymore. But the professor goes...
I use Facebook for birthdays.
That's all you need.
Well, I forgot my mum's like 2 years in a row, so I'm glad I didn't forget it this year.
Terrible son.
Yes.
Terrible.
I know.
You have to remember your mother's birthday. But...
Well, it's always so soon after Christmas, and because I'm never with her. Like, if I'm with her, I know it's her birthday, but because I'm halfway across the road, she's back in England, and I'm just going, and I always work over Christmas, because there's always basketball games and stuff, so I don't think about anything, so unless it pops up on Facebook, I have no idea.
I mean, I know,
I know when her birthday is. It took me like 11 years to learn when my sister's birthday is, but I know when hers is.
Oh my gosh.
I always thought my sister was February 5th, and it's the 7th. I think it's that way around. But then she had a boyfriend that had his boyfriend, or her boyfriend, or had his birthday on February 7th. So then I was like, oh, this just got more confusing.
Just go with February 6th and you can't go wrong, apparently.
Well, I can. My brother's is March 6th, Dad October 19th, Nan February 11th. Granddad's in April at some point, but it says on Facebook.
Grandpa's on Facebook.
My granddad has the brand new iPhone, the brand new iPad,
oh my God.
Wireless chargers. He worked at a mobile phone company for 50 years.
He's up to date for his age.
Oh, he has everything.
Oh my gosh.
Like, he has flight trackers on his... Like, I just want his leftover stuff. They're the... I love all my grandparents. They're all thankfully still alive, but he is the tech-savvy one, yeah. On the other side, my granddad was in the Air Force, and I have no idea what my grandmother did on that side. That's really bad. I know her dad was in the Air Force. I think it was her dad. Met him, my great-granddad.
So he probably approved
he was in the war.
Of the marriage then, because...
Well, yeah, so my dad was like a army family. It wasn't army, but he was an armed forces family, so he went to boarding school in Germany for 2 years and stuff. And he was born in Cyprus, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
But like on my mum's side,
because there's bases all over.
Yeah, her dad worked for Siemens, who got bought by someone, or worked for someone, then got bought by Siemens, who was like the really old like brick phone company. And then her mum was a teacher, and she's a teacher.
Oh. It's always funny how people in families end up like doing what generations past have done.
Yeah, my mum hates teaching though.
Well, do they get paid more over there? No, it's about the same.
She had to go to like being a superintendent kind of like status because she needed the money.
Yeah. And that you have to be in the industry or the service at least
she's
for like
taught since she was
years.
So she got a GED at university, so she graduated when she was 21. Probably did a placement year, so she's probably been teaching since she was 23. I think she was full-time for a couple of years. Then my brother went part-time, stayed part-time until my dad left. So for like 12 years or something, she was part-time. Then went full-time because she had to pay for us, 3 kids. And then wanted to go part-time, but she can't afford it. And now she earns more than her husband because she's moved up the scale. Because in England, so you're in a level, and then in each level, there's like 6 different stages. So you're like a level 5, and you can be paid between like 50 and 55. Like it goes up 1,000 each or whatever. And
is that based off of how long you've been there, or degrees,
time,
or a lot of factors that contribute?
Generally time. So you get paid by like the state. So she's never taught outside our county. So she's just continuously like moved up. She knows a bunch of like, she knows our old teachers because she was on like the governor's board because she was a teacher and stuff. And then she now sees them on like head teacher seminars and stuff. And so it goes to that. And then I think it also goes on like, if you've gone and taken so she was always on like, when she went back to full-time, she always moved up to like leadership roles, but she was like, right, I'll be the head of this year, or I'll go and take the required course to lead this kind of like seminar type of thing, not actually like lead it, but like
okay, that
so you
makes
can
sense.
take like courses. They're always away on like courses and stuff. But then I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe like don't think it was 10 years, but maybe 7 years ago. She was like, I need to move up, so she went and took. I think she got put into like a deputy head role, and then she was like, well, now I'm just they'll pay for me to go do like the course. I go do that, and then she took on like headships and stuff and.
Okay. Headmasters instead
It's
of
called head teachers, yeah.
principals and things.
Yeah, you don't really get called principal. But like we had, so my high school, 1,000 kids, there was 4 deputy heads.
See, but you were a smaller town, but 1,000 kids in your high school? Because there were only...
17,500 in my town when I grew up.
Oh, wow. Because there are 300
And
of
we
us.
had 2 schools of around 1,000 each for 5 years. So it's 200 a year.
Wow, that's a lot of kids.
It's not though. 200 a class here is small.
Well, I graduated in a high school.
I know you came from a school.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's a lot.
we then moved to a town
That was smaller.
that is, yeah, it's 5,000 people.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It's only like 20 minutes away. But I don't know what like the schools are like in cities because we live in a town. Like it was a small town. It wasn't big. Like we are an hour from London, an hour from the seaside on the south, Portsmouth and Southampton, which are big cities. Like we're probably only like an hour from Oxford. Like we're not far from anything. You're not far from anything in England, but I don't know what school sizes were like elsewhere. Oh, that's another thing you get. Pay scale goes on how big the school is.
Oh,
So if you're in charge of 5,000 kids, you earn a lot more than if you're in charge of 500 kids.
that makes sense.
That's one of the bigger things actually.
I wanted to be a teacher forever, but, if I want to self-sustain myself, potentially, in case I can never
College.
find a man that loves me, a teacher doesn't make enough money here.
College.
See, but even after you have a college
Research
degree,
professors in the college.
But that's boring. I want to work with small
Did you ever
children.
have, what's his name? Bill. Is his name Bill?
Schuster?
Yeah.
I never had Bill Schuster, but I heard great things about him.
He's a great teacher. He definitely has enough money. He's been here for a long time in CSU. I know you earn more the longer you've been here. But I know, like...
But for the people that
I
want
was
to teach
thinking about
like
this.
kindergartners and first
Oh,
graders,
no, I wouldn't do that.
You have no chance, and that's what a lot of teachers
I
want to do.
would want to teach at college here because you get long vacations and you probably make more money because you can go and do research and stuff. I'd want my kids to go to school in England because you only get like 10 weeks of holiday all included a year. So I'd never have to see my kids. They're always in school. I'd want my kids to go in school in England, but I'd want to be a teacher here.
But isn't it it's like trimesters for school in England, though?
Kind of. I mean, yes, we don't call it that. So there you go September to December, and you get a half-term break in October. So you get 1 week off in October.
Obviously not for Thanksgiving because you're in
Well,
England.
that's November for one. But no, so you get a week off in October. You have 2 weeks off at Christmas, like the 20th to the 4th of January or whatever. And then you go January to whenever Easter is. You get a break in February. You get 1 week off in February. You get 2 weeks off at Easter. And then you go whenever Easter comes back to July. And you get a week off in May for May half term. And then you leave school around the 20th of July, come back September. Like beginning of September, like September 1st through 4th kind of like time.
That's crazy.
So I think you get kind of after you probably get 10 weeks and then whatever inset days or random holidays you get throughout the year in England, like bank holidays and stuff.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Like growing up in Estes, you have to have a job in the summer. I've been working since I was 14. That's how life is. But if you have a school schedule like that, how are you supposed to work or do anything?
Well, and you're also, I mean, I say legally. I know you're not always allowed to legally work here, like at those ages, but you're not supposed to work until 16 in England.
Yeah, you can work at 15 technically.
Because you have to get
With a certain amount of
the
hours.
equivalent of a social security number comes through when you're like 16,
Oh,
which is called national insurance number, I think. But yeah, you don't get it until you're 16.
wow.
England's weird for schools. It's not weird in schools. I'd probably send my kids. I want like the broad range of stuff you get here, but I hate the fact like you break down maths into like 6 different subjects. Like I don't like that. But I'd want them to come to college here because of sports, which for English people is in college. I'd want them to come to university here because of sports and stuff. But
The whole experience.
yeah, It's weird. I don't know what I'd do. And thankfully, I probably wouldn't be the first. Hopefully, my brother has a kid before me, so I can see what they do and see how it works out and see how their kids are. That's my hope, anyway. But
you can just be Uncle Isaac.
I think I'd be the fun uncle. I'd be the really disciplined, but if you're not annoying me, we'll have fun. Mm-hmm. I really want to be the if I can not deal with my kids until they can reason, I will take them to everything after that. I'll take them to all sporting, all music, everything. Deal with them all the time. But until you can pee by yourself and you can reason and understand what I'm saying, I do not want to deal with you.
Sounds like you just need a nanny for your future.
Or a really good wife.
True. But
I want to earn enough so she doesn't have to work.
Those women are dying. It's a dying breed. My goal in life is just to be a housewife. I would love to stay home and raise the kids. I want to be a house husband.
It'd be great.
It would be great.
I'd hire a nanny and be a house husband.
Hire a nanny on the house husband? No.
Not on.
On top of being the house husband.
Oh, on top of, yes. Not as in on the house husband.
I hope you're not one of those house husbands.
Only if I'm divorced.
Oh. But it's a
valid comment. If I'm divorced, I wouldn't mind. We're going to go back to CSU.
Oh my God.
Because, as you were aforementioned, you were in Greek life.
Oh, yes. Funnest 4 years of, I know funnest isn't a word, but of funnest, I guess, 4.5 years of my life.
Yeah, you were in a 4.5. Although, I thought you were only allowed to be 4 years.
I went alumni with Kappa Gamma in May last year.
This is the second cocktail, the Paloma cocktail. 7% with tequila with carbonated water and natural grapefruit.
These are very good. I'm going to have to pick these up in the future.
They're not terribly expensive for what they are. Because, I mean, a 12% cocktail, I mean, that would have filled these glasses. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what the 4-pack prices are, but I think it's 16 for 4.
That's perfect. I got boxed wine, or not boxed, but canned wine the other day, little rosés about that big.
If you want canned wine, go to the Magic Rat at the Elizabeth.
Where? The Magic
Rat.
Where is this?
Elizabeth Hotel.
Oh,
Old Town.
Okay.
So the Magic Rat's their jazz bar underneath with the Sunset Lounge as their cocktail lounge above.
Yes, I still haven't gone there, but I will.
Delicious.
At some point.
I don't like wine, but I've heard they're delicious.
I'll check that out.
Greek life. CSU life in Greek life in particular. We'll go for that first.
Oh my gosh.
How was it? I was part of it. My roommate for 3 years was a fighter. So
when I first met you, I was like, is this British kid?
You met me in a basement.
Is this British kid also a fighter? And for years, we just thought you were a fighter too, but didn't.
Well, I kind of got in a lot because freshman year.
There's very few men, which you were very special. There's very few men that were ever allowed to interact. I mean,
Steffi was president for one of the years, which free pass. Their house sophomore year was the party house, free pass.
Oh,
so
long live the Mulberry Mansion.
Senior year and freshman year were kind of the only ones that weren't. But freshman year, I just turned up with Eric.
Yep.
And then, Juan knew me anyway, because I went to one, what they call recruitment events or whatever.
Yeah.
I went to one, and Juan saw me.
One.
But I went to one barbecue thing with them, and he remembered me from that because it was his job. And then everyone kind of knew me, and then I just knew people because I lived with Eric for 3 years. So and last year people came to our house to drink throughout the summer and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just knew I was never in, and I could never go to the big parties that were fighters only and stuff.
Yeah, but you were as close as you possibly can get because Greek life at CSU is
I never tried to go to the tailgates because I always worked. I had to work every single football game, so I never had to get in.
Mm-hmm. But here in Colorado, there's laws.
Well, that's the thing. So
against
CSU
hazing,
and Colorado Greek life,
which it still goes on.
I know it goes on.
Mainly with the fraternities, all of the fraternities, not singling one of them. They all do it. They all.
Well, I know a rule that one has.
Yeah, but we won't speak about that. That's.
Well, no, mine's a good rule.
Yours is a good rule, but.
I can't say who it is, although people can probably guess. So I'm not going to say what it is. It's a good rule.
But when I joined,
this is different.
It's very good. I love the Paloma, but CSU, it's very much. If you want to have, I am a strong believer that if you're outside of Greek life, you're kind of screwed as far as the party scene.
Unless you're an athlete, yeah.
Unless you're an athlete, you have no chance.
Unless you're really good high school, unless you're come from Colorado
And people
unless you come
that-
from Fort Collins.
But
Maybe Loveland.
As soon as I joined Kappa, I would walk across campus and 20 people would know me walking across the plaza. And I got to
Yes, but you're also a woman.
I'm a woman, but I got to meet all these different people and great people.
That is why I'm glad I was on track for 3.5, because I knew all athletes, even if I just knew them by face. I either knew I was talking to someone that knew them, like personally was really good friends with them, or like it's like I was really good friends with the volleyball girls. So if I wanted to go to someone else's party, I had an in.
It's like the cliques
And then,
you find in school.
but then I was also, so one of the guys on the track team was from Fort Collins. Nick was from Fort Collins, so he had all his high school friends who still had parties freshman year.
Yep.
And then the track, like, athletes had parties, but then also knew Eric. So fraternity parties that like I could get into,
You lived the best of all worlds. You got very lucky in that sense.
I really had the opportunity to do that. I probably didn't make the most of it, especially freshman year. I was very much don't want to get too drunk, want to focus on track and get like a scholarship type of thing. Didn't work out, but I was very focused on that.
But in the end, like a normal guy in the dorms freshman year, like you have no chance of going to a party. You
Most
have
of
no
them are
chance
from
of
Colorado.
anything, you know, unless
That's why
it's
Tinder
already
probably
your
helped a lot of
friends.
people.
Exactly.
That and Focus Snaps.
And you don't want to hang out with, yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, or Yik Yak was a big thing.
Oh god, Yik Yak, freshman year.
1515 South Shields. That's where the party is. It's a non-existent address. But
Yik Yak was...
Yik Yak was fun.
Maybe had it for a week.
It was awesome. I enjoyed it. It was right around the time it was...
The only one I remember posting, I posted a picture of the like ram's head on the side of Moby when it was snowy, and my caption was Frosty the Snow Ram.
Snow, that's great.
That's the only thing I ever remember posting on Yik Yak. I posted Frosty the Snow Ram.
Yik Yak lasted so shortly that I don't think anyone's gonna remember what it is in 5 years. No one will be like, "What's Yik Yak?"
Oh, you knows what it is.
But
like college, people have now graduated, and like the 4 years older than us, they know what Yik Yak is. No one else does.
Because that's how you communicated, and you knew when there were
I
people
never did.
that you were. I would get on.
But as I said, I only had it for like a week, so.
Yeah. After I joined Kappa, like you'd get on, and I met a ton of different guys and things. Like you'd get on there, and I'd recognize some of the people would talk about, and that's kind of ridiculous. Fort Collins got a very small
hilarious.
town with Greek life. That's the big thing. Like,
Well, that's...
by senior year, like I knew everyone in. Well, not so much. As soon as you turn 21, like it's hard to go to house parties anymore, because you walk in and boys are like, "Oh, what dorm do you live in?" And I'm like, "Sweetheart, I was around when your fraternity was being founded.
nightmare.
Like, please, don't be this person." But I went to 9 formals in college, fraternity formals, plus all of the, pretty good, right?
I was going, that was low.
Oh, no, that's very good for a lot of girls. A lot of girls go 4 years without going to a mountain getaway weekend.
But 9 total?
9
How many
total.
fraternities are there that you would have gone with? Like 4?
Yeah.
So you have 8 a year that you could have gone to.
Yes, but...
So you went to 9 out
Now,
of, let me do quick math,
here's the
like
difference.
52 or something.
Now, ask many other girls, and they'll be like, "Oh, I went to like 2 or 3, whatever." But here's the key difference. I never slept with any of my dates.
Half the sorority people I know are probably on Cheer Poms.
And they're a special breed of gals. They're lovely.
Well,
but...
as in they will always get invited out.
Exactly.
Because they're Cheer Poms. Everyone sees them.
Exactly. But it's ridiculous. These weekends happen, and there's 2 types of girls that go to these. The ones that go because they're friends, they're awesome, they're great people.
I'm going to
they're
throw in a
fun to
third
go
one
with.
that you're not going to say.
The second one are the girls that are like, "I will sleep with you if you take me."
Third one, girlfriends.
Well, yeah, okay. Which...
I knew you left it out because I was like, for 4 years, I know someone who took his girlfriend to every single one.
Yeah, but girlfriends are never fun in formals. They're always like...
Oh, God. I had someone ask a guy and he had to turn around and say, "Sorry, I have a girlfriend." She's like, "Oh, hey, my form was this weekend. Like, what are you doing?" He was like, "Yeah, sounds fun, but I have a girlfriend."
Aww.
He's a really nice guy as well.
But that's why a lot of the girl formals, like for my sorority, I took the hashers, because if I wasn't seeing anyone, I would either take a boy that I wanted to take me to their
I
formal.
never got asked. I'm pissed. Who didn't want to take a British guy?
I would have taken you, Isaac.
Actually, no. I got asked by a girl in Boulder, and then she cancelled the day before.
Oh. But I'd take the hashers because they worked in the kitchen. They knew all the girls. When I got too drunk, I could just leave them and they would be fine. Which my brother...
So you were thinking about them, not you.
Pretty much. But my brother started being a hasher today in the Kappa house. Today was his
How old is
first
your brother?
day. My brother is, how old am I? 23? Okay.
know.
My brother's 19. He started
Sophomore?
hashing. So he's technically a freshman in college.
On credits-wise, or...
Credits. Well, yeah.
I mean, I was technically a junior until my last semester, I think, in credits-wise.
I was 18 my senior year of high school.
Yeah, I was like, you are 18 when you come to college, unless you're young.
Yeah, so he turned 19
Or
in
if you're
December,
old, you're 19, but...
I hope the girls in the house love him as half as much as I loved the hashers. Because
I was going to say half as much as I love him. I was like, I hope they don't love him the same way.
Oh. But...
It's probably good that you've left now, so you can't see any of it.
Exactly, and none of those girls in the house know me anymore.
No, probably
not. None of
not.
the hashers are the same. None of the hashers I've slept with.
I thought you said you haven't slept with any of your dates.
Hashers are different. Hashers are the men that work in the kitchen.
You said you never slept with any of your dates at formal.
Okay, well, for fraternity formals. Sorority formals, that's a different story.
But then, how does it compare to, like... So you get the... For people who are not in the US, you get the film version of American Greek Life.
Oh.
The actual version of American Greek Life outside of Colorado, which is real... Because I don't count Colorado as real Greek life, really.
Because, like, real Greek life is, like, the big South schools.
Well, yeah. So how did it, like... Did you ever go on, like, getaways? Because Eric went to Oklahoma, I think, for one of his, and he saw, like, their fight-art house and stuff.
I have visited a lot of other Kappa houses in Arizona.
How does it...
And they...
Translate. How does it compare? Not translate.
Well, I would definitely say that, I got into Kappa at Colorado State, but if I rushed at any other big, like, university...
You wouldn't have done it?
I don't think I would have been a Kappa. Because those women are very...
So you'd still do it, but you just wouldn't be a Kappa?
Oh, yeah. I think I probably would have gotten into, without being super shallow, like, I think I would have gotten into, like, a lesser sorority. Like, Kappa is nationally...
Well, yeah, it's like CSU. It's got to be big.
Nationally, a big sorority.
I know we have...
one of the more popular
We have a
ones.
couple, but we're not a Greek life.
The joke is it's the daddy, daddy, please girls or Visa, Visa, MasterCard. And I'm like, that's fine. A lot of my sisters were rich.
You are blonde as well.
Yeah, exactly. I fit the stereotype, but it was the greatest 4 years of my life. 2 years living in the house.
How does it compare, though, compared to the rest of them? Now you've seen them.
I think it compares... I think anything bigger would have been too much for me. I think it would have been overwhelming. I think I would have been...
As in bigger, like, sorority house or, like, bigger school?
Bigger house, bigger school, more people. I think it would have been harder to form the bonds I did with people. Because by the end of my college career, it felt very small town.
College career.
College career. It's over. Thank God.
I just love the way you're calling it a career.
Well, that's how you refer to it. Your college career.
I don't.
And now you're on to your next career in life.
I mean, I'm not.
I don't know
I'm
where
waiting.
I am yet.
That comes up next. Actually, that's a good leeway. We'll go for that.
Moving on.
I'm just going to read this off because I can't think of a smart way to say this. Do you think you have a disadvantage being a woman in business, or do you think you're at an advantage these days?
I think these days there's an advantage because of the whole climate about
You personally or women?
Women in general.
Just in business?
I think in everything. I mean, it depends. Like engineering, there's not enough women in that field. But
True.
with business, there's so many women in business. But the key difference for me is the women that think, you have to go with like the traditional standards of like you have to be pretty, that helps you immensely.
Don't sleep with your bosses.
Don't sleep with your bosses, don't be an office
Has that ever
slut.
been an option for you? So yes. Oh God, don't count on fingers how many.
No, I'm thinking about my various jobs. There was maybe one job or two.
As in you wanted to, or they were like making advances?
I had one uncomfortable job at one point where a boss made advances.
Not
but...
Hooters? Hooters.
Not Hooters.
Okay, not Hooters.
But
I feel like that'd be way too obvious.
But women in business, too many of them are like, any women that have a business degree understand that like, okay, I'm going to be the best person I can. But there's too many women out there that think like, people should just hire me on my merit and my intelligence and this and that. And then they give zero fucks about what they look like, what they present themselves as. They have zero confidence. And I'm like,
I mean,
that's
these
simply
days,
what business is.
It
you have to have confidence.
works half the time though, because like, even California just passed the rule that you have to have, I think it's at least one woman on your board by the end of 2018, 2019.
But if they're unqualified, you shouldn't have to have a woman on your
board.
board.
No, this is like on their board, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, but and then I get a newsletter suggested by Bill Shooter. It's called Morning Brew. So it sends out an
I've
email
seen that.
every week morning, and then if you get enough people to refer, you get like the special light roast on Sunday or whatever. But this one, it was like studies
You can
on
refer
like
me.
it was studies that were it was like anyone who has multiple women on like their board generally performs like 25% better like financially. I mean, they're studies, and I'm sure they're not wrong, but I don't know how right they are, because I imagine the companies
There's
that
not enough
have
data.
Well, no, but I imagine the companies that have women on their boards are big companies, so they're generally going to perform better. Is how I don't think it's necessarily like wrong that women are helping like them perform better. It might be true, like having a different opinion, someone who sent out stuff, and generally people on boards these days and age are older women who
Have been in the industry their work.
well, have had to work their way up and deal with shit and not give two shits what people think about them, so they will put their foot down and not give a fuck about what people think.
I have no problem with those women, and a lot of times they're called bitches because.
But that's not our generation. Mm-hmm. Our generation is be yourself. You have to be strong as a woman, but well,
They see
I hate our
things
generation.
as like if you have a male-dominated company, like I don't even know.
But it's not like the proposal, where she has to be a bitch to be like run the company.
It's not like that anymore.
No,
I don't.
But
they
are the people
because
who are on.
there's so many companies out there that are all women.
I feel like they are the companies that are, or not the companies. They are the type of women that are on boards these days, because otherwise, as the study said, it's majority white men and they won't listen.
It's how you react to them, and I get that. But my problem lies with the companies that are like, oh, we're not diverse enough, so we're going to hire people that are underqualified just because of their race, their minority status, or the fact they're a woman. And I'm like, so people praise them. They're like, oh, you hired more women in your company.
Like state-based on like what percent? Because we went over this in HR. I think you have to go over it. Like you have to, like you're supposed to have, I don't know if it's state-based or national-based, but you're supposed to have a X number amount of minorities, women, etc., yes, like disabled or whatever. Like
we're in a place right now where there's so many jobs available and no one's applying for them.
I've always thought.
So you can't force diversity.
I don't care if there's 18 white men on a board of directors if the people who have applied have half the experience, don't know what they're talking about, have no proven track record. Hire the people who have it. I don't care who they are. Mm-hmm. If the woman is the best one, yes, they shouldn't be turned down. And if you have, if you had equal qualifications and experience, but personally you think that the guy would fit better with the company and what the job than the woman would, who do you hire?
Man. Because you don't want to go against the status quo, it's company culture when it comes down to it. And too many people are pushing a culture, certain industrial companies, they're all male-based because no women want to be in their industry. And it's not their fault. They're all male-based and they continue to hire
Well, it's like engineers. Like, there aren't many women at age 7 who are like, I'm going to be an engineer. Unless you're like dad or something as an engineer. Why the hell? You want to be a princess at age 7. You don't want to go down engineering. You're not going to go start playing with computers or anything.
None of those women are like, I want to build buildings. No.
And when, like, the really motivated, powerful women that come around, like, oh, what's her name? I don't want to get her the wrong country. There's the woman, young girl, I want to say she was like 13 when she started, who almost died, and then started talking about, I want to say it was like about terrorism. Like, she's like a 13-year-old girl. I want to say she's from Africa.
She was some African country.
Indian.
And she got a Nobel Peace Prize, didn't she?
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
But again, she only started talking because something happened to her. Mm-hmm. There are not many girls at the age of, I want to say she was like 13 or something when it happened.
Yeah.
That want to stand up in front of people and talk to men about it. Hell no. Girls are 13 and worry about what their nails look like and what this boy said.
Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know where she was from, but just in general, probably where she was from in a very traditional culture, probably just worried about finding a husband.
Yeah. Like, or being set up, you don't get a choice. Because that's still a lot of people's culture.
It all depends on what your culture is. And
half the women I met in college don't know what the hell they want to do.
I still have no idea. I'm applying for jobs this week.
I mean, I know where I want to go. I don't know what I want to go in.
And that's as far as you need to be right now, because it's very different. 50 years ago, I would be married with a child on the way, which I would be very happy doing. Very happy, because I'm a very traditional
20 years ago,
woman.
half of us would be married at our age.
Uh-huh.
My mum was married at 20, so they were engaged at university, married straight after, so they must have been married 21 or 22. My brother was born when she was 25. I'm 23. I don't even have a girlfriend. If anyone wants to marry me and get me a visa, saying that again, I'm here. But no, yeah, so my brother got married at, how was he, 28? Well, actually, he probably got married around 25. But again, they don't have a kid yet. Like, kids and marriages.
Which by 25, my grandma had 3 kids.
My mum had 1. But that's the thing, grandma, so like, when did your mum have?
My mom had me, my mom is graduated exactly so probably about 30 with me. And
so that was when my mum had me, and I was the 3rd kid.
My
so
goal
25
was
to 30,
be
she had
married
3.
and having kids by 22 was my original goal.
Yeah,
because
but that's
I'm
not
very
the thing
traditional.
anymore.
I'm very traditional. I'm like 2% of women.
But that's not even tradition anymore. Tradition is getting older and older. Like, my mum's sister is only 3 or 4 years younger. I should really know this. Don't know. A short amount of years younger. I don't think she's more than 5 years younger. But I don't think she had her first kid until like 30. Which is already 5 years later. Like, unless you are religious.
As delaying gratification for retirement. I'm like,
unless you are religious these days, you do not generally get married before 25. Like, if you go to BYU, yeah, you get engaged in your first 3 weeks as a freshman. I just remember a Twitter story about that. I don't know if that Twitter story is true, but there was a...
Generally, I mean, that's very true out there. You have a lot of religious people, and that's what your duty and job is, to raise children.
Yeah, unless you're religious, like, it doesn't really matter.
Which is fine, but...
We're getting shown a picture. I don't know what we're getting shown.
It's
Oh, it is snowing outside.
I was so confused about that. My brother just showed us a text message, and she's staying in Fort Collins.
Oh, okay.
So she'll be fine.
I'm back and
wanted
forth.
to get stuck if you would go.
Thank you so much.
That was so
appreciate
weird.
it.
We both just turned around to read a text my brother had typed out. I was reading the rest of the conversation. I was like, this makes no sense. And then he was like, it's snowing. So I was like, oh. But she's fine. She drove down from Estes today to Fort Collins, but no, she's staying in Fort
I'm
Collins.
in my limbo of life.
So am I. I've been in it for longer than you. I graduated like in May last year. You only just graduated.
That's okay.
I've been gracefully hosted by my brother and his wife, so thank you to them if they ever listen to this. Which they probably won't, but thank you to them.
Maybe they'll just hear you down the stairs saying thank you too.
I doubt it. Because this will probably go live tomorrow, but it doesn't matter for people listening. But then, it's like, what do you think are the key aspects these days to be a woman in business?
I think you have to have confidence.
I was going to say more, but
Oh,
you can keep going.
Finish your
I was going
thought.
to say, did CSU college business help you specifically, like as a woman, to grow more as this? Or did they just help you generally as a college student?
To be completely honest, I don't think I gained
I was
very
going
much
to
about my
say,
degree
I have
at
in
all.
brackets if it helped you at all.
I don't think, I mean, to be completely honest,
You have to
all
be
of my
helped in some
classes,
aspect.
I'd sit down and I'd be like, this is such common sense because I've been working.
Oh no,
since I
the
was
classes
14.
are. But the writing, arguments, whatever, the presentations, dealing with other people in groups and stuff.
I would say just the practice
we had to be
in
helped.
general
Yeah.
was good. The practice was good, but I don't think as
Me
a
and Matt
woman,
both said
it
it's like
helped
we
me
didn't
anything.
learn anything. Like, it kind of teaches you how to learn, but we didn't really learn like actual things we learned. He learned stuff because he learned a bit about accounting and finance because he went to the more specific. I learned how to do stuff with computers because I CS, but in general,
I mean, I learned how to code, basic coding, before I dropped that as a major.
can you
but
remember any of it? Because I can't remember shit, and I was a CS
hardly
major.
anything. For me, being a marketing major, everything I learned. in that
Marketing's
entire-
stupid. We've spoken about this. Marketing's ridiculous.
Ooh, test question. Can you tell me what shelf to put the toys on if you're trying to appeal to children? The top, middle, or low shelf? And I'm like, are you kidding me?
They generally have a toy hour, so they're on all of them.
I've been doing this since I was 14.
But honestly,
moving
they're
toys to a
generally
low shelf
there
for
is a
children.
toy aisle, so they are on everything. Yes, you put the smaller kids' toys on the lower ones, but there is a whole row of toys.
But as a woman, CSU prepared me for nothing. But if anything,
Did you?
Greek life prepared me.
I was going to say, did
because
Kappa do anything then?
Because I held leadership positions. I learned
that
how to
actually help?
communicate with women. Yeah, it actually did. I learned how to talk to women in a way that
You
was
didn't know?
more constructive. Well, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends before I came to college. My group of friends, there was one
small
other.
town and everything. I'm not surprised.
Other girls hate you because you all date the same boys by the time you graduate. It's exactly the same. But Kappa, I rolled in, and it was all a group of women that hated other women and realized,
You still do.
yeah, I still do. I even had drama with a girl at work the past couple of days, and I'm like, seriously? I'm like, I lived in a sorority house for 2 years. I know how to handle drama. I can handle this, but
Well, yeah, because I met you with,
conference.
at your time, one of your good friends. And you're probably still acquaintances. I wouldn't say you're friends anymore.
Derek?
No, Demi.
Oh, Demi. We're acquaintances. I respect her for
Like
who
you
she
were-
is, but we value different things
Yeah,
in life.
but you were like best friends when I first both met you.
I mean,
I'm still friends with both of you,
she
but...
was my twin in the sorority.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And our whole Kappa family was based off of the fact that we all loved Vita.
Yeah. I feel like... I know not all sororities do, but they have to be one of the least hated on campus.
Yes.
No, Fighter.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were brand new my freshman year. Brand new. There were guys a year older and 2 years older that started
That
the
started it, yeah.
From what I understand, they were old fraternity members of different organizations. And my big was best friends with a lot of the boys in the house. And the first person I met in my first class in college was a Phi-Tau.
Do I know him?
Derek. It was that house.
I don't know if I know him.
The house we met in the basement.
Oh, was he
lives
the
there.
one who was
He's
the
short
skier?
one. He's the skier, yeah.
Okay, yes, I remember that. I don't remember him.
Uh-huh. He was super sweet. And he's still, I mean, I wish I saw him more.
Is he still around?
He's in Aspen now, back home, but he's not like one of those rich Aspen douchebags.
How do you live in Aspen if you're not rich?
It's possible. There's always
Like the
townies.
median house price is like 800 grand, isn't it? If not more.
Well, his dad built their house they live in in the neighborhood before it was
Aspen.
before it was completely built around them. So, but
I can't wait to build my dream home.
oh my gosh, I walked into this house today and I'm like, it's so cute.
That's one thing that it doesn't throw me off. I now understand it. So in America, this class is building your own home. Because they chose the plot of land, they chose the floor plan, they chose the
Amenities.
thing. Well, that's not building your home in England.
Well, it depends
Building
on
your
where
home in
you
England
are.
is you've designed it from the ground up. I have the floor plan for my house since I was 16 in my head. I have every room laid out in my phone. What's going to be in there. I have every single thing. And that was the dog making a really weird noise because he is weird and he's not getting attention. But no,
Handsome.
like building a house in England is you buy the plot of land, you hire an architect, you build this house like how you want it. This isn't building a house.
That's how it is in Estes, but you know, with like a majority of the United States, you live in suburbia, you know.
Well, and I think it's different because in England, when they build estates like this, they build a set number of 5-bed, 4-bed, 3-bed, 2-bed, whatever. And you can then like choose which one you want, but it's going to have the same layout. You can just choose the finishings. Whereas here, you can kind of choose your plot of land and then choose what goes on it. So they chose to have the loft or like the roof, like the upstairs here. You could have chosen to have a basement or not to have a lot. Like you could have chosen a lot. So it's slightly
Have
more.
an extra bedroom or whatever.
Oh no, it's only the floors. So you could choose the floors, but you could choose the. Probably depending on plot size, you could choose the floor plan. So they probably could have gone for a 4-bed, which is probably the same size but different, completely style of house and stuff. But like it's slightly more customization, slightly more choosing than in England. But I still don't class this as building your own house. You've basically been given options and you picked off the menu.
Oh, that's my dream. I want to build. So I want to live in Texas and build like a giant house. But I also would love to
My
have
house
a
in
cabin in the
Texas
mountains.
would still probably worth like $3 million.
My best friend, who's a glassblower, his dad does these huge installations.
Is actually a glass blower?
Yeah, Elijah blows glass.
I don't know who Elijah is, but the
I'll
only
show you
thing I know
pictures.
about glass blowing is from the show White Collar. Do you know what? You've seen White Collar, right? So Neil's like the mastermind thief and Mozzie has to blow like a really fancy glass, like that, like a fake of it. That's the only thing I know about glass blowing.
But, you know, his dad does like multi-million-dollar pieces, and they just went down to Austin to install a piece in this guy's house. in different rooms. And these are $10,000 chandeliers. And his house, the pictures I've seen of this custom build, I'm like, oh my God. Give me like 10 acres of land in Texas and I'll go crazy.
I think it's changed. But in the new stadium at CSU, it's like down at the OCR field level club, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I'm remembering this incorrectly and like completely made up my imagination. It was a ram's head, like a circle of like hanging glass with like green bits like to show the ram head bit. I think that's what it was. I think now, I don't know if it was too dangerous, didn't pass health inspections or something, or it broke, or I'm completely imagining it didn't exist, but I think now it's just a sheet with a ram head on it. Like it's just a glass sheet.
But it was going to be like dangling down pieces.
I'm pretty sure I saw it as that. I'm pretty sure I saw it as that, and then I walked down the other. I was like, I swear this used to be like hanging glass. I might be going mental. I might have to check with one of my friends on the football team to see if it was like that. But
you might be crazy. You already are. So I'm just...
definitely crazy. Definitely crazy. But no, we're out of topics now, so we're gonna quickfire question you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Go for it.
Don't think about your answer.
Just respond.
But you can explain your response. So don't spend time answering, but you can explain your answer after you said it.
Okay.
Most ridiculous thing you spend money or waste money on?
McDonald's hot and spices.
That's not ridiculous. For a woman, I'd either say haircuts or nails.
Oh, I don't get my nails done ever since I worked Hooters. I go to cost cutters.
But so your hair's not expensive either?
No, my last haircut that I got
expensive
last week
clothes?
was $18. I don't even buy that many clothes.
Okay, then yeah, that's fair enough. Because like for women, I'm like,
I would say
nails...
marijuana, if anything. Probably
pot.
True.
That's
probably pot, because like
you waste it. It's not.
I'm into supporting the local tax economy, so I'm like, I try to go to the dispensary if I can, but it's also super wasteful.
But you also like food is more needed than weed.
Yeah, or like, I guess because it's us talking, Fuzzy's Taco Shop.
Yeah, true. We did both spend
a couple grand.
A lot between us, probably like 2,500 last year.
At least on tacos and margaritas.
That's like individual people.
That's my final answer. Regis, am I?
Favorite TV show at the moment?
The Office, always.
I still don't like it. Biggest letdown of last year?
Biggest letdown of last year. Last year was 2018.
You can go school year if you want, if that makes a difference.
Biggest letdown. Oh, God.
I just thought of a ridiculous answer. I don't know if it's true, but...
Oh, I have no idea. Biggest letdown would probably be...
The sex? That was the ridiculous answer I thought of.
We'll go with that. I didn't have a great love life in 2018.
How many books did you read last year?
Are we counting the ones that were assigned for school?
Yes.
Well, to be fair, I didn't read any of those.
So it's still 0?
I read one book. I read a book about depression last year.
Oh, God. Moving on to the next question. What would be your talent in a pageant?
Oh, in a pageant? I actually did a pageant at one point.
What was
it?
It
was the Hooters pageant.
Oh, God. What was your talent? Okay, Hooters talents have got to be different. Like, Hooters talents are probably like picking up a nickel with your butt or something.
Talent, show talent. If I could get a climbing wall inside, a climbing wall. Otherwise, I'd sing.
I was like, how the hell are you... Like, you've seen Miss Congeniality. She had to play wine glasses. I hope you've seen Miss Congeniality.
I would sing and pretend
Sandra
like I
Bullock.
do. Oh, I love Sandra.
And then last question. How do we meet?
We met the first time in the basement of the house where a bunch of fraternity men lived. And we were with my twin.
Sounds creepy as fuck.
Well, it was
wasn't my basement.
Fireplace.
It was a college basement, like where people go to party, not just a basement.
Yeah, there was a beer pong table. There was a fireplace.
We were sat in comfy chairs.
And that first night, Matt Ernst was playing the guitar, and I still have recordings of him.
I'm pretty sure he's always playing the guitar.
Yeah, but that was the first night I heard him sing, and I fell in love with this
I
voice.
remember the stories of him at the talent show. I think it was freshman year when he sang Maroon 5.
Yeah, which he finally updated his Instagram music page, so
He has an Instagram. I need to follow that. I didn't know that was happening.
I believe it's Matt Ernst Music.
Shout out to Matt. You got a free shout out. Hey, wait. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is, let me look. I think it's...
God, you don't know your own name.
It's call_meek_Schlin because years ago...
Do you have a Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter.
Okay. No need to plug that then.
I had about a week at one point. But...
Only Instagram plug then. But that is the end of the podcast. Feel free to share us with anyone, as always. If you want to come on the show, let me know. And if not,